What up? T-Bob here.
And Jake as well.
And look at you. You done stumbled upon little OTB Saints, where we bring you all the latest black and gold coverage.
Who are the Saints going to draft? Who's going to be their quarterback? What does the salary cap look like? All that information and more.
Hope you enjoy it. Like, subscribe. Speaking of poop, how about them Saints yesterday, baby? 14-11 winners over the New York Football Giants. One of the most historic NFL franchises could not handle the power of the Houdat Nation and the black and gold. Yesterday, we were treated to a game that featured 18 penalties, 15 punts, a combined 10 of 34 on third down. How about this, guys? Can I interest you in some 3 and outs? Because of 27 possessions, 11 went 3 and out. That's right, baby. We had missed field goals. We had a failed fake punt. We had punt return touchdowns negated by penalties. We had field goals negated by personal fouls. And we had a blocked final field goal attempt. Shout out Brian Brzee. Actually had an incredible game. But yes, if you watched that game yesterday, if you watched it closely, I should say, congratulations to you, because you, sir, are a man and a sadist and a masochist and enjoy self-flagellation. I enjoyed the game, but I got to be honest, the brain cells that it occupied were probably in the single digits. I had it on. I was walking around, playing with the kids, doing some stuff. I'd look up and be like, Kidre Miller got 3 yards. Look at that. You know? He did let the dog off the leash, a whole 9 feet. And then I would go back to doing whatever I was doing. Oh, look, Derek Carr just tried to jump and shattered his body. Oh, that's cool. And then I would just go back to doing whatever I was doing. Which, by the way, guys, if Derek Carr's hurt, great news for me and my balls, because he ranks top 12 in like a ton of different stuff right now. So we're good. Fracture, you could tell it was definitely a fracture. I thought it was like his forearm.
No,
maybe.
Rappaport says fracture in his non-throwing hand.
Just keep him out. Just keep him out. There's no point in Derek Carr paying. Just make the money, Derek Carr. Nobody cares at this point. Whatever. Daniel Blunt, T-Bob, the game wasn't that bad.
Not good.
I don't know, dude. I think it was pretty bad. That was one of the worst NFL games I think I've ever watched.
It was bad, but like when he was out Friday, you and I were talking about that. We kind of expected it, right? I think we went like 17-14. Like we kind of expected a game like this.
Yeah. That is true. It's not far from our score prediction. These two teams combined 1-13 against teams with winning records. Shout out Jeff Duggan, who has a lot of just really crappy stats in his breakdown of the game today. Again, though, how about Brian Brzee? Good game for Brzee.
Yeah.
Game-winning field goal block. Love to see that. Now he's checked the one box that Marcus Davenport had.
Yeah.
Right. So he's a legitimate, much better pick than Davenport ever was. I mean, he was already before, but I love seeing him. A game-winning field goal block is badass, no matter what. Because at that point, it did feel like, oh my God, you're going to blow this. Like you had the lead the entire game. The offense couldn't get anything going. The defense is finally out of steam.
I thought Malik was going to score on the one that he kept making people miss at the end.
Yeah, it's like, here we go, dude. And you managed to avoid it, thank God.
It was nice to see, the offensive line that we thought we would see all season long finally back together. And, Cesar Ruiz continues to struggle, but it was still nice to see, the one offensive line get out there and actually playing a game together. So there's a couple of things to take from this. You're past the point where I think draft choice is something you're worried about. Like you've already won too many games to get one of those top 3 type choice, draft picks. So like just continue to go out there, see what you can do. The NFC South continues to be up and down, right? The Falcons lose again. The Bucs are pulling away a little bit, but I mean, you still have an opportunity. You still have something to play for. Like I said, you're already past the point when you're worrying about tanking. So go see what you can do. See if you can create any momentum. You're going to have a tough, difficult choice to make when it comes to who's going to be the next head coach. You got a couple of tough games also coming up, and if you win those, maybe the Rizzler gets an opportunity.
So during Christmas, I think, it's a time to feel nostalgic and think about the times of your childhood, and both the Falcons and Saints completely sucking again. There's something almost Norman Rockwell-esque about that. It's been the vast majority of the history of this rivalry. Our basically this rivalry is bum fights over multiple decades. And we're getting back to that, which is great to see. As you have Kirk Cousins out here making $180 million. You have Derek Carr out here making $160 million or whatever it is. You just call it 180. I don't care. It's really fantastically inept from two of the most historically inept franchises in NFL history.
Bad ball.
Bad ball.
Real bad ball.
I mean, the Falcons have lost 4 games in a row. And don't look now. Taylor's boy, Baker, and the Bucs back and clearly looking like the best team in just a god-awful NFC South.
7-6, but still, I mean,
winners are 3 in a row.
Yeah, there's something to play for. If you're, you might as well, again, if you're the New Orleans Saints, see what you can end up doing, seeing if you can create anything, any juice, any momentum, because I don't know what the offseason looks like. I mean, you have some tough choices. You got to find your next head coach. You have to figure out what you're going to do with the quarterback position. Are you really going to roll that out there again? Because I don't know where you're going to be in the draft. Can you get a franchise quarterback? I mean, yeah, probably. I mean, we've seen it happen in the draft before. I mean, top 3 quarterback doesn't guarantee you anything.
But it almost does, you know what I'm saying? Or I mean, no, it doesn't almost guarantee you a good one. But if we look at all the good quarterbacks in the NFL, how many were not top picks? It's a short list. You can get lucky, but it is a short list.
What do you consider, I guess, top? Like you're saying top 5, top 10?
Say top 10. I mean, I guess Mahomes technically wasn't top 10, so that's crazy.
He wasn't.
And he was like 11, I want to say, because I think the Saints, maybe 12 because the Saints picked 13. That was the Lattimore year.
Here's the leading passers. And this isn't like the only metric to go off of, but it's just the first one I pulled up. Leading passers in the NFL: Geno Smith, Kirk Cousins, Joe Burrow, Baker Mayfield, Matthew Stafford, Sam Darnold, Lamar Jackson, Jared Goff, Patrick Mahomes, C.J. Stroud. Of that group,
was fast, but is
1, 2,
Geno, Kirk?
3,
no, Geno was the top pick. No,
4. You have 4 of the 10 that were outside the top 5.
Okay. But how far? But
outside the top 10, really.
Okay, outside the top 10.
Yeah, because Kirk Cousins was a 3rd-round pick. Geno Smith was a 1st-rounder, but later.
But
right?
he was like teen somewhere.
Lamar, same situation. Mahomes fell right outside the top 10.
Okay, so you can get a 1st-round quarterback maybe somewhere in the middle of first round.
Brock Purdy's at 12. Obviously, we know he was Mr. Irrelevant. And, Bo Nix is a pretty good example.
Yeah, true. Bo Nix having a really good year.
Class.
Okay, so maybe there is some hope just getting a 1st-round quarterback if you go ahead and draft one then.
But since they haven't done it since Archie Manning, I don't really have a lot of hope that they're going to actually do it.
Yeah.
But if you continue to roll out the same personnel, and look, Derek Carr hasn't been
you don't really have a choice at this point.
I know,
though, right?
He hasn't been the only issue, but your cap situation, where you're going to be drafted now, looks like it's going to be somewhere between 9 and 13, somewhere in that range. Yeah,
probably where they've lived the last 3 years.
Like, what difference maker can you get that's going to be
Patrick Mahomes.
Available?
Patrick Mahomes at 11 or 12. No, I don't know. Again, to your point, Jake, as you rebuild this thing, it might not even be time to think quarterback yet. We'll see how the market shakes out, but yeah, it might not. Unless you fall in love with a guy, it might not be time yet.
I mean, and also there's other positions that you're going to, I don't think you have a player in the top 50.
Hold on, I've got a list right here, Jake, of the other positions Saints need, and it says everything. It says every single position. Except for, ironically, maybe like offensive tackle, you're kind of okay. Unless you have a beast tackle, I could see that, and then you bump Penny down a guard. But have we arrived at a sick place where the Saints' offensive line is actually the strength
of their team?
I know,
yes,
I know.
What a bad roster.
I know you've had injuries, but like when you start talking about leading receivers, your leading receiver on this team is your running back. And Alvin Kamara is 65th in the NFL as far as receiving yards.
Yeah.
So there's 64 players in the NFL that are ahead of anything that you have.
Bro, we have literal dudes off the street.
Yeah.
I mean,
Kevin Austin Jr. played over 50 snaps in this game against the Giants.
I mean, honestly, if I want to stick by my Arizona State take, the Saints being 5-8 right now, much more impressive than the Chiefs being 11-1 or 12, whatever the hell they are
I
now.
don't want to talk about the Chiefs.
I know. I'm sorry, dude. Doink for the division, huh? Jeez.
I mean, one, like the play they converted to be able to kill the
I didn't
clock.
see it. Was it a penalty?
No. I mean, it's like the most Chiefs. Yeah, right. It's the most Chiefs play ever where you've got great pressure on Mahomes. You miss a sack, and he just finds Kelsey like on a knee, basically, throws it to him first down. They run out the clock. And then they doink. That field goal doesn't go in for any other team.
No, but it's the Chiefs, dude.
It's the Chiefs, though. It doinks off and goes in for the division.
Doink for the division.
I mean, if it doesn't go in, like you lose the game. The Chargers did all that to come back down 13-0.
Yeah.
And you don't want to talk about dudes off the street.
I feel
Chargers are duct tape and super glue right now.
I feel like the Chiefs have won every game like 15-13 this year. Have they scored in the 20s once this season?
I saw a stat
gross,
the other day. I'm actually working on confirming it right now. I saw a stat that said if you take away the last 2 minutes of every game, the Chiefs have the worst record in the NFL.
Oh, let's go. Legends, dude. But isn't that kind of the point that we talked about, though? Like, good teams, find a way.
They do. Good teams do find a way.
And bad teams find a way to lose, which I thought the Saints were going to do yesterday. Credit to the Rizzler for not letting it happen. Wow. Just amazing black and gold takes right there, Jake.
I don't think I've ever heard any takes that are better than the two guys that just gave you that take.
And you can keep getting them by going ahead and liking, subscribing, ringing the bell to get notifications when we post. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next OTB Saints.